Hey, what's up and what's going on, everybody? This is Al, and welcome to my channel. This is Just My Thoughts with Alex. And this is a new channel. I had an old channel. I got several channels, but what I used to do gig delivery service. And from 21 to 25, I deleted it. I washed it, I scrubbed it. And basically, the reason I did was because in the beginning, I was able to share knowledge as far as the levels of the gig game, how to get the best from it as a driver, as I felt that you could. I have been doing side hustles as far as painting and RVs and boats and all that, and I always knew how to make the numbers be in the area, in the lane that I need them to be in, so everybody will be comfortable, from the customer to the material to myself, right? So the same thing with delivery game. When I jumped in, I had 3 apps under my belt: Uber Eats, an app called Favor, and then I had Grubhub. And basically, I always swung for the fence. I never believed in doing anything to make the apps successful without me being successful as well. So I never sacrificed. I never took orders. I never played the game where you got to do this in order to get that. If the orders didn't come and I didn't like the numbers, I just didn't do it. But that is what I always believed in. I believed in everybody's going to be happy when it's all said and done. If I'm not happy, nobody's going to be happy, right? And if you wanted to take me off the apps, so be it. That's the way I seen it, because I came in strong-willed to always achieve success in that goal, right? So I jumped in 21, and that time frame that I had been doing it was a gold mine. In fact, it felt like, being uneducated about it, I thought it was something that always existed. I actually thought these type of numbers were happening, and I was just in a cave and did not know this thing existed. So I always thought that the apps paid drivers well, and it was like a quiet secret, and nobody knew that they was passing up a gold mine as they were driving down the road. So when I jumped in it, I was seeing those type of numbers: the 21s, the 18s, the 25s, 30s, and 40s, things like that, and the miles wouldn't even be high. It would be balanced miles. So everything worked itself out. Now, we fast forwarded to 22, and that is when I found out what was really going on. The numbers just dropped. It was almost like a stock market crash in the delivery game. And it had been that way from 22 all the way up to the year of 25, when I decided to finally let it go and said enough was enough. But why am I here? I'm actually here because, like I said, 25 was the year that I decided to quit, went back into retirement mode, enjoying life, fishing, poker, everything that I can imagine that you do as a retiree. I'm doing that. So I went back to that lifestyle. Before that, I was running eBay as well, right? Up to the pandemic. Rest in peace to those that lost their lives. And that was how I got into the delivery game. Up to that time, my side hustle was eBay as a retiree, and I was doing quite well. Everything from the house, only moves I made is when I went out to go and buy and resell. That was about it. But it was nothing compared to the delivery game. The delivery game was one moment a diamond in the rough, and then it just became a sweatshop. That is the way I felt about it. It just felt like it's just a sweatshop. It's busy work, right? But it was in my psyche, right? Getting up every morning, 6:30, getting on station by 7. I was treating it so much like a job that I thought I worked. I thought I came out of retirement and I actually was working. I actually had a plan set up daily on how I completed my missions, and it became a test every day. And I did not realize that I was sucked into the delivery world. I really didn't. But in 2025, when I stepped back from it and I realized how my life had changed and what I was doing. Instead of enjoying life, I was out here making money for a business that did not make money for me when it was all said and done. Of course, you're going to have gig tubers that'll come on and they'll say you're not doing this, you're not doing that. It's your fault if it's not happening. And I'm gonna tell you right now, don't believe that it's actually the company's fault, because they should be paying drivers. Just like right now. Today is March 20. What's today? Let me get my phone right quick, y'all. See if it comes up. Today is March 28th. Saturday, March 28th. So I'm recording this on today, 28th. And you got gas prices, and I don't know if everything is back to the apps taking care of their drivers, but I seen videos where people were posting that drivers were quitting on DoorDash and Uber Eats, right? Now, I'm not really sure if that's true or not, because I went out in town today and I seen one of my old throwback delivery drivers still doing this. And I want to say he probably was doing it longer than I was, but he's still a part of the game. I seen a young lady sitting on a parking lot waiting on grocery delivery hits. I didn't have to go over to her car and say anything. I knew where she was there because she always parked in that spot, right? She always parked there, and she waits on deliveries. So you still have people that are still not quite ready to throw the towel in, whether they have to do it because they can't afford to do something else, because now they've been doing this so long that they've already relied on the money that comes from it to take care of their responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? And then again, it could be they just know how to make this thing happen. Now, the reason why I quit, because the market just got dried up. It really did. I was down to my last way of making deliveries, and that was in the grocery game. As far as restaurants and things like that, I had kind of swept them under the rug. I wasn't doing restaurants because nobody was paying. I wasn't going to take $5 and $6. It spoils you. You think about 21, those numbers spoil me. 18s and 20s for restaurants, and now here it is. You got 22 up to 25, and I'm saying 6 and 5s and 7s, things like that. No, I got spoiled. So I wasn't trying to do 3 to make one number. I was trying to do 1 delivery and make 1 number. You get what I'm saying? So the grocery game was my last hype, and that wasn't me shopping. That was me actually picking up and then just making the deliveries. But let's get to why I'm here. I'm here because in 21, I do remember when I was doing these videos, I always told people, do not get yourself in the mind frame that this is it. Do not get yourself in the mind frame that this is it. I would never tell anybody to jump in this and become a delivery driver and make it a main source of income. I always said that it should only be looked at as a side hustle. It should be goal-oriented, meaning if you have things that you want to get done, and instead of going to get a loan using your credit cards, hey, if the numbers are right and you're in the right market, you could go out, make that money, and the same amount that you would have spent on your credit card, you can now take that delivery money that you made and you can actually just go pay for it, right? Without running up your debt in credit cards, right? That was a good way for the delivery game to work and operate if you could agree with those type of terms. But if you were trying to say that I'm going to be running from 6 o'clock in the morning till 9, 10 o'clock at night every day, you're going to burn yourself out, because that just is what it is. It's going to happen. And the reason why you're running that long is because you have to sacrifice and pass up on runs because they're not paying you. And you're going to have more of those type of runs than you're going to have runs that are paying you. It just works out that way. The balance is offset on the bad compared to the good numbers, right? You had more bad numbers than you had good. And that was something that I always stressed and said, do not come into this and try to make it primary, because you're going to lose. You're going to have to do everything is on you, from your car to your gas to your maintenance to your phone to your insurance. And now prices are high. They're jacked up. And this is all the stuff that I don't want to say that I've seen it coming, but let's be real. If I didn't say what I was saying, I only said it because I felt that one day this was going to happen. And you're going to have a lot of drivers that trusted these apps to keep them going. And you saw what the apps did. They didn't move. The numbers are still the same. You still have to rely on customers. And the thing you have to remember about customers on the same boat that you're in when it comes to finances, when it comes to their money. So if they're paying for the service, because you got to remember, a lot of times the delivery game is slick and they'll say free delivery. If a customer could say they're getting it for free, right? They know it's a driver out there that's going to do it for the amount that they're going to give, which is $5 here, $3 there, and you got drivers that accept them. So, this delivery game is still here, right? Because you still got drivers that are desperate. Their back's against the wall. They can't help themselves. So they have to get out and get it done. But a lot of us, we don't, right? We're in a good space. We are able to take it or leave it. And I left it in 2025. So it seems like, according to what I've seen, and I'm not really sure, because like I say, gig tubers will do whatever they got to do to get views, especially if they have a following, right? Gig tubers will do and they'll say anything. So I'm not really sure. But if you see this video, as a driver, did you quit? Did you walk away from this? Did you decide to give it up, especially now in 2026, knowing what you know about the price of gas, knowing how much you got? I'll tell you right now, in 21, I still had to put gas in my car daily, right? I had to put gas in my car daily. I would just get it over with and put gas in my car. I never let it go down below half a tank when I was driving back in 21. In 22 up to 25, it pretty much will get down to a quarter of a tank by the time I got done. And then I would have to fill it up the next day. But I always try to make sure I made gas money and I made a little bit of money on the side to build up. And I had to hold on to it, right? I had to hold on to it because, hey, you just never knew what was going to happen. And that was a good thing. But now, knowing what you know as a driver, are you quitting? Are you walking away from it and saying, that's it? I can't keep up with this anymore, right? Maybe if the numbers drop, then I'll come back to it. Because you got to remember, the apps don't fire you, right? They can deactivate you if you do something foul. But if you want to turn the apps off and say, hey, I'm taking a break until everything levels back out, then I come back out to play, are you doing that? Me, myself, I still have the apps on my phone, but I don't even cut them on. They're just there, but I never cut them on. I'm not even thinking about doing deliveries. I can't see myself doing it anymore. Burnt out. It was never really me anyway. That's just something I jumped in 21. And when I did, I was there at the right time for it to make sense to me. But now, it doesn't make sense. I can't see myself walking up flights of stairs to somebody's apartment building just for $6 and $7. I just can't see myself doing that, right? Just too much other things you got to put up with. The variables. They can be disturbing as a human being, right? For what you put yourself through and what you have to put up with, right? So that is what I told myself, that's the reason why I said I'm done, that I can't make myself feel positive about the delivery game, right? It's just not doing what it should be doing. People that do things if the money's right. If the money's right, people don't mind doing it. In 21, I didn't mind what I was doing because the money was right. But after that, I started tailoring off areas that I wouldn't deliver to anymore. Wasn't gonna do it because I knew it didn't make sense. I wasn't gonna put my car through all that banging and battling, going up and down the road, all that traffic and stuff like that. So I gave myself a radius that was shorter than anything. And I actually worked from my house. I actually did my deliveries from my house after it was all said and done. When I told myself that I was just doing the grocery game, yeah, I did everything from the house, and I got my orders from here. And I didn't move unless I got, the right number. And that's how I did it. But now it is 2026, like I said, and it is that time. What are you doing with yourself now that the delivery game is where it is? Or are you still hanging in there? Like I said, I saw 2 people that's been doing it since the days I was doing it, and they're still doing it. So what about you? With that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Peace.